Rob Roobenstein.
Yes.
Check out his channel if you haven't already. I'll put a link in the description below. Rob, you're doing really well with your channel now.
Cheers, Eddie. Thank you.
Yeah. You've had a couple of sherbets, have you?
A few, yeah. I've enjoyed my day, except for the game in the end, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah. You're looking a bit tanned as well.
Well,
very handsome.
Thank you, Eddie. Just got back from 2 weeks on holiday. Missed the City game, so I was obviously gutted about that one. Was looking forward to being back at St James's Park for the first time in a while. And I had hoped that we would have won today, and I'll be honest, we've got a good record against Palace. I didn't see too much trouble today, so I'm disappointed.
I'm bitterly disappointed and really frustrated as well. I thought we had enough chances to win the game. It wasn't pretty, but
No.
I've been making the point in one or two interviews that we missed Bruno and Max against Liverpool, but we were outstanding for a large chunk of that game. But tonight, it was a bit different. We're missing some inventiveness. What do you think?
It was a weird one going into the game because, as you mentioned, we're missing arguably our three best players. Best midfielder, best winger, best striker. I know Isak came in and played well. We saw how well he did against Liverpool. Home debut, should have scored. And I don't want to put it on him because it's too soon, it's too early. Overall, he had a great performance, and really, it wasn't just him. There was other players who should have scored tonight, so I don't want to put it on him. But had he just moved it to the right and put it in, it could have been a different day today. But as you say, I knew it was going to be tough missing those three big players. And for me, the lineups, I half expected to have maybe seen Anderson start. Maybe, whether I wanted it or not, maybe have seen Murphy start. And I think a lot of that is 3 games in a week. We've had 3 games in a week, and I know Longstaff and you know what it is, Lascelles against Liverpool was good. It was good. And I know some of these players get a little bit of stick, but against Liverpool played really well. And I thought, you know what, Longstaff in, I'll take it. But someone like Willock, who has ran his heart out 2 games in a row, 3 games in a week, I'm thinking, wow, we had a good window. And the players who were brought in were fantastic, but when you've got 3 games in a week and you're having to play Willock for the 3rd time, and we're thinking, why have we not quite got it? I think he's knackered. I think he was knackered before he started, and it's sad to say it, but I think a lot of that was what played into it tonight.
Yeah, you talk about Elliott. I think Eddie Howe's grooming him to bring him into the first. I think he's going to be our regular first team player. As regards Murphy, that's an interesting comment. I've heard a lot of criticism about him tonight. Yeah. You said you might have started. Where would you have put Murphy?
Well, the thing was really I was happy with the lineup we went with, to be honest. I'm glad Almiron started. He's got a bit of a thing against Palace. He scored the last 2 times. I'm thinking, get him on. He's confident against them. Maybe he can do it again. But generally, what I mean by that is just the fact that we're playing the same players 3 times in a week. And with Eddie Howe, you don't really know what's coming. I don't think anyone really expected Lascelles to start against Liverpool, but he did, and he played well. And you could potentially criticise what happened there, but we have let a lot of players go. We've let Fernandes go, we've let Hayden go, we've let Clark go. He's kept the players that he holds the trust in, and the fact that he's held Murphy says to me that he still fancies what he can do.
I do as well, I agree with that. I find Murphy a bit of an enigma, because sometimes I see some touches from him are just sublimely brilliant. You think, wow, where do we get this player from? Absolutely. 5 minutes later, he passes a ball straight to an opposing player. He's so frustrating. He's got that potential to be, actually, I think, a great player.
No, I agree, and I do agree with the fact that Eddie Howe could have probably let go of 4 or 5 more that Newcastle fans generally wouldn't have argued with. But I think he's been clever in the window. We've brought in 4 players, but we have spent a lot of money. He's brought in, I think of the 8 players we've brought in 2022, so January included, 7 of which, if you want to argue, would as well, so that's 8, have walked into our first team. So we haven't bought players to make up the numbers, we've bought players to play. And the fact is, he let go of certain players, but not others. It's because in my eyes, he sees the squad as the players who he will rotate and he will use. Wasn't our day today, wasn't our day.
And you're right, it wasn't our day, but we could have been having a completely different conversation if 2 or 3 players had just buried their chances. We would have been talking about, wow, this is great.
Yeah, you're right.
We don't even need Bruno and Maxino. It's so frustrating. I'm bitterly disappointed. The disallowed goal. I didn't get a really good look at it because it happens that fast. I saw 3 seconds on the big screen.
Yeah.
My initial thought was it just all a bit clumsy, unintentional, but just a collision? Because the referee had a good look at it.
Well, this is the thing, I don't want to put it out there too quick because I've not seen it back either. But from what I could tell, live time was it's gone in off the defender. And I'm thinking, well, how the hell have we fouled anyone? From what I could tell from the 3 seconds of the screen, was that the Crystal Palace player clattered into the back of Willock, who hits the keeper. Meanwhile, the ball comes off the Palace defender and goes in, but it was given disallowed because Willock fouled the keeper, even though he got shoved into. That's what I saw, and if that's the case, we've been done. We have.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hold it on that, because as we've mentioned already, we should have finished more chances than that one. But if that's the reason, and if VAR exists for that reason, and it's not being given, we've been done. We've been done.
I need to say it again. Like yourself, I don't want to commit to that, and I don't because I haven't seen it. Because a lot of the viewers say, "Jim, what are you looking at?"
Yeah.
We haven't had the benefit of.
We have not seen it yet. But
it all boils down to was Willock pushed in the back? I don't know. Man of the match for me, Miggy. He's like a wasp. He was just involved in everything. He was all over. He broke up the opposition player. He was creative. Just like the rest of the team, we lacked a little bit of quality. Who was your man of the match?
Maybe Joe Linton. I thought Longstaff did all right as well. He gets stick, but I think ultimately he works his socks off every game. And it was one of those games where, at the end of the day, I think Palace had just as much possession, about just as many shots, just as many on target. I felt like ours were better opportunities, but they came up here and they gave it a go. And I did say in my prediction that if we do draw, as long as we've put in a good performance for it, and I felt like we did. Yeah. So we gave it a good go. I'm obviously disappointed, but it wasn't like we rolled over and we lost or whatever. We gave it a good go.
Yeah. Well said, Rob.
Cheers, Eddie.
Cheers.